we've seen considerable acceleration of organizations' use of their Microsoft 365 technologies. It's brilliant to see Microsoft announcing a continued uptick of active users each month. Do you think as we sort of hopefully come out of this current period of working pattern, that organizations will be looking to return to the sort of pre-pandemic state and back to work goes back to how it used to be? Or do you think that there's this, we've changed fundamentally forever the patterns that businesses will now look at employee working pattern, location, technology?
I mean, that's certainly the $1 million question. There's a lot. If anybody knew for sure the answer to that, there's a lot of value to be created. So everybody has their own opinion. I do think it'll be a bell curve. There's clearly some organizations that will lean into the change. And there are clearly some that, maybe will struggle and then blame remote workforce for the reason for that and then call everybody back, as you saw even before the pandemic. Yeah. I bet it'll, the middle of the bell curve will be a new normal. I don't think it'll be the same as it was. I think there'll be, I think technology is accelerated to enable it too, and sort of proven that it can work and can help through a combination of an organization's own resilience in people and their abilities to adapt, and then technology's ability to rise up in the moment that it was needed in a way that I think there's so much proof that it can be done. And so I think many organizations will allow some amount of, hybrid work multiple times a week type of thing. And certainly at Microsoft, we're preparing our technology so organizations can thrive in that environment and have, frankly, out-innovate their competitors who choose not to do that, because they can pull on talent from across the world and get diverse perspectives from people, not just in wherever their headquarters are. And I think, organizations that choose to invest in that, organizations that choose to make that work, partly using technology, hopefully from Microsoft, are going to out-innovate and out-compete. And so, I'm excited by it, and I think the world and technology is ready for it. I have a hope that the focus on people and their development and the work environment and preventing burnout that we've seen throughout the world, I hope that continues even post-pandemic. Like, that is, I think it's deep in Microsoft's DNA, and I have a lot of hope that, my own personal workforce, my own personal leadership style is adapted to it, and it's a permanent change, because that's, of course, what we all want. We all want to be, to have the support networks that have developed continue. And I think a lot about how Microsoft and technology can help people do that. That's one of the reasons I'm excited to be more closer to the Viva Insights product too, not to sort of bring it back to like a Microsoft tech, but honestly, Viva Insights is all about well-being, and having that be now part of our employee experience and more deeply connected to what I do in SharePoint and intranets and Viva Connections is, I think, one way we can help with something like that.
Yeah, it is really exciting to see some of these what were distinct kind of pillars of activity in and around an organization. People and culture worrying about well-being and the health of the organization's employee workforce. But now, the technology is acknowledging that that's actually part of the day. If we've seen lots of commentary in the industry about burnout, the sense of isolation for those that are not in a busy household, for example, and actually seeing how Teams, even in its early state last year of this experience, was supporting that sense of I can engage and I can be part of that team. So do you see insights and connections becoming tighter over time, or are these still going to be things that have their kind of own swim lanes to follow?
Oh, absolutely, they'll become tighter over time. All of Viva all up, sure, we talk about the 4 modules, and of course we'll have depth in those 4 modules, as you'd expect us to do. But our goal is to product make Viva as a product all up, to provide a holistic employee experience platform where there is deep connection between the modules, and blurred lines between them as appropriate. Because we want to, I think the biggest change that we've been doing as a company that Viva exemplifies, I don't think Viva started it at Microsoft, but it certainly exemplifies it, is this sort of, solutions-based product design, right? Is not app-centric, It is not content-centric product design. It is people and workflow-centric. Like Viva is thinking about the holistic employee experience, all the way from onboarding to thriving, and then eventually maybe offboarding a job or changing jobs in between that. And that's the way we think about it. Yes, what you see in product today was taking our existing products and sort of encouraging them to come more together and then market making a new category. But over time, what we're doing is thinking about the journey of an employee through an organization, and then just providing as many starter kits, tools, new products, whatever is needed in order to have that thrive and really think about it. And we see a lot of that from HR and IT. That's what they're asking us for. Like, this necessarily wasn't Microsoft's idea. We just keep getting folks that are looking for that more end-to-end solution focused. And as we talk to IT and HR about the problems they're trying to solve, it's not deploying one more technology. It is solving the onboarding problem with employees holistically, right? And we wanted to not, there's two choices. We can make our customers figure out how to use the 5 different tools to do that, or Microsoft can have a deeper opinion on how our products can come together to solve these end-to-end scenarios. And obviously, Viva is an example of the latter.
So hearing that kind of inclusive nature of Viva Connections, you talk about the employee reach, the communications teams getting channels. The kind of aspect of the frontline employee, obviously in the current scenario, frontline has been a sort of really important target area for communications and engagement across the business. The Viva Connections, what is the key element of Viva Connections that really addresses that frontline scenario?
First off, we have a terrific first line worker team at Microsoft that we've worked incredibly deeply with. They know these types of customers, work with them deeply, have been able to bring them into Viva Connections brainstorming sessions. And so we feel like it's a great partnership and we have a deep understanding. And part of that is, there has been a bunch of great first line worker investment in Microsoft Teams, from walkie talkies to shifts, and I know what that team felt pretty strongly. What was missing was sort of a dashboard that could bring it all together, and that is one of the things Viva Connections provides. And so it's almost not all, it simplifies the first line worker experience, providing that dashboard to have access to everything they need to be able to get their job done, including many things that are already in Microsoft Teams anyways. And if you're thinking about a first line worker deployment, definitely think about connections, but think about Teams all up. Think about how to customize the bar at the bottom of the Teams mobile app to have connections, but other key first-line worker apps, and really make sure you're looking at the full suite of value that Microsoft provides to first-line workers, not just connections.